Ellen Carey, her Fabric Collage. I love that one. Can you tell us about it?
Oh, sure. Ellen and I are friends. Ellen is a major American artist whose work I love. She's a photographer who uses different techniques in the dark room to do her work, usually. It's not just, taking a picture and printing it. Ellen is incredible. So I met her about 1 year ago. She came to Buffalo and we had dinner together, which was we bonded immediately. And I asked her if I could take some pictures of her. A lot of people don't like their picture taken, but Ellen just, you know, put back the head and, what do you think? So I took some that night and then we met again a day or two later. I had a show of my collection, my art collection in Buffalo, maybe, 60 pieces, I think, including some of Ellen's work. So I really had her there, with a gallery walls behind, and she kind of, really gave me some, great poses. So that's one that I took the photograph too. So once again, I think it's this emotional engagement with our subject. I mean, she lives in Hartford, Connecticut, so I never see her really, but there's this interest, and I wanted her to look great in it, and I wanted her to like that portrait because if she didn't, I mean, that would have. I never would show it if she didn't like it. So also, if you look at the background and some of the shapes in the faces, it's usually a half circle, a square with an arch in it. Now, this is because that sort of geometric shape appears frequently in Ellen's photography work. So I thought, that is perfect, and plus it just worked in and out with the face. I think the hairdo just, fit those curves. So
Yeah.
some of these things are just plain meant to be. Yes.
Yeah.
With the collages, I can just cut any shape very easily. With sewing, I mean, I do sew curves, but they're a lot more time consuming than the straight lines. But I feel with the collages, I can really do any shape. I can cut anything that would be even things that would be impossible to sew patchwork.
Right.
Sometimes you might be able to do them applique or maybe not. Also, I can get extremely thin pieces with the collages because I'm just going to cut it and glue it. With some pieces, I actually glue down as few as one or two threads. Maybe if it's somebody's hair, just to give it a little, gilding the lily. I'll just put like a few threads down. In fact, they look like they're just threads that adhered themselves to the piece. But no, in fact, um, all the threads that have just got stuck there, I take off with, masking tape, just constantly dabbing. And with certain ones, you want them, like just one hair, that sort of thing, which you could do with sewing. You could do applique or embroidery, or sometimes I actually work sew into the fabric to slightly alter it, like maybe a plaid. I'll add a couple more lines of my own sewing to just lighten it a little bit. So there's a lot of tricks. I shouldn't say tricks. There's opportunities we can do with needle and thread that, I don't know what they're called even.
Yeah.
And if I get points for them or against them in a quilt show, who knows?
So, can you talk a little bit about your workshop that we'll be having in September?
Sure. This would be Fabric Collage. So we'll pick a portrait. I usually talk about selecting a really good portrait that's probably going to make a good piece of art. So I usually use uh, portraits. Maybe there's a light side, a dark side. It's either front on, three quarters, profile. Um, no glasses, no eyeglasses, no, grin with the teeth showing. They're just too hard to do, Um, and the idea of doing this grid and just forgetting about how complicated and seemingly impossible it is if we only concentrate on one little square at a time. That's really what I'm hoping for. Also, color, warm and cool. What makes things come forward? What makes things go back? Light and dark. So most everybody that takes the class catches on, and I want it to be useful for them when they go home. If they take to doing portrait quilts, or if they don't, can they use some of those skills that we talked about in their regular quilt work to just energize it more or bring it more fuller toward art
Yeah.
rather than, the pieces, so many quilts with three colors, beige, brown, and tan. It's like, no, purple, orange, and stripes, So part of it is demonstrating engagement and enthusiasm. I think which we always need to go back and face our quilt projects.